What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you're having a fabulous day today. Almost as fabulous as the quintuplets right here. Basically, the final uh, deck in line that I had initially planned for the quintuplets decks was one for each of the girls, and then one based on what people refer to as the Exodia combo. So this deck profile might be a little bit longer because there is a lot of explaining to do. I tried out two versions of this deck as well. The first version ran the level. There's a level one Ichika with that combos with a choice trigger that was really good, and I liked it. But when I started testing with the Itsuki version with this level one, I loved this one a lot more. So that's what we're going with today. But I've seen other people as well use the Ichika level one instead of the Itsuki. But this card's just too fucking fun. And I know I have stated before I don't like experience based effects. So you do have to play around because of that. But the pros outweigh the cons in my mind. So let us get right into it. There's a lot going on in this deck. You are... God, I guess I need to just outright explain the Exodia combo first. So, every single one of the girls has a copy of a card with the name Irreplaceable Bond and the girl's name. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Uh, each of them are level 3s, and there is a level 0 Futata right here. The entire deck is based around getting this fucker, like, turn 1. Like, you need to get this turn 1 or you are going to have a pain. But you obviously run 4 copies of him, so we're going to start with this first. First off, he has a little bit of protection. He remembered to wear a rubber. That he cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. So non-targeting removal does get rid of him, but 9 times out of 10, it's targeting stuff. So, I mean, like spin triggers and stuff like that, which is very important because he has to keep markers underneath him. So we're going to go with the last effect to explain that one, where you can tap him, choose a character, and give it 1,000 power. Then you can choose one of those 5 girls with the name Irreplaceable Bond and put in your waiting room and put it underneath him as a marker. It has to be a different name than what is already underneath him as a marker, and you can't exceed more than 5 markers total by the end of this. So it basically, the idea is to put one of every single one of the girls underneath him as a marker, and then his climax combo effect is off of a gold bar. When Memories of the Quintuplets is placed in your climax area, if your level is 3 or higher, you can't do this at level 2, otherwise, oh my god, this would be insane. If you do choose up, you can pay the cost, which is 4 stock. Your ideal number of stock going into level 3 is 5, by the way. Put 4 other characters from your stage into your waiting room. So you have to have a full field as well going into your climax combo. Just keep that in mind. If you do choose up to 5 markers underneath this card, put them on separate positions of your stage and put this into your memory. Now, it is to be stated you do not have to have all 5 underneath him to pull this off, but the more markers he has, the better the climax combo is overall. If you only get like 4 underneath him, as long as it's like the main ones that you need for like the front row shenanigans, you can get away with like not having one of the front row girls underneath it, but you want to have all 5 if possible. And honestly, this Itsuki version has pulled that off way better than the other build. So I put in 2 copies of every single one of the Irreplaceable Bond cards, except for the Ichika is 3. I wanted an extra level 3 red for the experience thing for the Itsuki level 1 combo. But I just had to go from there. So just keep that in mind in terms of every single one of these goes underneath him as a marker, and they all go off when he summons them. You also don't have to meet color requirements, so that's why even though the Nino is blue, there's no other blue in the deck. So let's go back to the level 3s. So this Yotsuba is going to be one of the back row characters. It's 3-2-7-5. All of your other characters with Irreplaceable Bond in their names get 1,500 power. At the beginning so there's just a good buff. At the beginning of your attack phase, if the gold bar climax is in play, and the Futado puts himself into memory is in your memory, put up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into your stock. Your opponent chooses 1 climax in their waiting room. returns all cards except that card into their deck and shuffles their deck. So it decompresses them if they've been trying to like, get themselves down to like a lot of climaxes left in deck, but very few number of cards in deck. It's good decompression, but I will say the decompression as well from this effect is mandatory. If you're pulling off the climax combos, it goes off. So next is 2 copies of this Miku. This is the other back row, level 3 for the combo. So the other 3 are all front row. But this is a 3/2/7/5. All your characters in front of this with Irreplaceable Bond get 2,500 power. Placement isn't the biggest thing in the world. Obviously, as long as these 2 are in the back row, you're good. When this is placed on the stage from your hand or by the effect of the Futaro, heal 1. You're going to see that a couple times. I'm just telling you right now. At the beginning of your attack phase, if you have the climax in play and Futaro in memory, put up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your stock. Choose 1 character. That character gets 2,500 power until the end of the turn. Shit gets big. So then we have 2 copies of the Ichika. This is one of the first ones I almost always try to grab and put under it because it has a restand effect. But it also has that same effect from before of placed on stage from hand or by the Futaro, heal 1. So there's 2 heals. Then when the battle opponent becomes reversed, you can pay 4 stock if it meets all the other conditions. The same conditions of the climax combo and the Futaro. You can stand this card. Look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 2 of them, put them on top of your deck in any order, and put the rest into your waiting room. So you get to choose what your next trigger is going to be, which is pretty good if you're trying to hit like specific amounts. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the Irreplaceable Bond cards first. Then we'll come back to this level 3 and why I chose this. The Ichika. This card's one of the reasons why placement doesn't matter as much, because you're going to get to choose where your opponent's shit goes. So it also has the heal effect, so that's 3 heals. At the beginning of your attack phase, if you have the climax and the Futaro memory, you may put all of your opponent's characters into their memory. If you do, put all of those characters on separate positions of your opponent's stage, choose 1 of your characters, and it gets an extra 2k for the turn. You can purposely shuffle around your opponent's field into whatever position is most advantageous for you, and make it so that the Ichika is definitely going to reverse whatever the hell it punches. Not for lack of buffs, because this thing can get to the upwards of like 17,000, 18,000. Like, I'm probably misremembering the exact numbers, but the numbers got so big half the time that it did not matter because of the Ichika just going shuffle, 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 and oh, now I have like a 7,000 in front of me that's just going to die. Like, there's no way they can back it up and save it. So then we have, to round out the Irreplaceable Bonds, is this Nino, and it also has the heal. So when you do this combo, you heal 4. Really fun. When this attacks, and you want to attack with this one first, with all of the combos and everything that goes off, this is why I said you had to go into level 3 with like 5 stock, or you go into playing the climax with 5 stock. And how the numbers work out, it works out, you pay out all of your stock exactly if you pull off every single one of these effects. So just keep that in mind. So on attack, pay 3. And if you do, this gets an extra 1,000 power until end of turn, and all of your characters get the ability 1 time per turn. When damage dealt by this card is not canceled, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. So if one of the front row girls swings and their damage sticks, you get to try to burn for 1 extra, which is really nice. So you're going to swing with this one first, activate that burn effect, then you're going to swing with the Ichika, do a little bit more damage, and then you're going to swing with the Ichika last. You'll have enough stock to be able to do the restand effect and get 1 more attack off, as well as the fact, any extra burns you got from doing her effect. You get to heal a bunch, you get to attack a bunch, you get to burn a bunch. It's really good. So then lastly for the level 3s is 2 copies of Kind Gaze Itsuki Nakano, 3/2/8/5. The first effect does not matter. It says it's an early play condition. If you have 4 or more quints, it gets minus a level in hand. But you can literally ignore this because this is always going to be in your back row. It doesn't have quintuplets. You can't fulfill the condition because the Futaro has to be on board. So, you can't really work with it that way, so it's just the other effects. The main thing is the last effect, so the second one is if all of your characters are quints, she gets extra power. It does not matter, once again. So I'm just going to ignore the rest of the buffing effect. The main thing you run this for is on play, look up to X cards from the top of your deck, choose one card amongst them, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. X is equal to the number of quints you have. So if you do this on a full field, even with the Futaro, you can still dig 4, trying to get the climax for the combo more than anything. Granted, that's just a rare case scenario. You can also put a copy of this into your level for the Ichika level 1 combo. But once again, the climax is a gold bar. So typically it's going to get into your hand. You're going to be good. But on that rare occasion that it doesn't get into your hand, you can use this to try to dig for it and hopefully get to it. So and that's it for the level 3s. To the level 2s, we have a lot of backups in this deck for good reason. The first one is this Yotsuba, 3k backup that gives the character a memory kick when the battle opponent becomes reversed. So that's really good. The memory kick has been like a lot more prevalent as of late, and this is definitely going to help with that. More so in this Ichika version. So this is not a backup. Running Yotsuba, it's a 2/1/7k. When this is placed on stage from hand, it gets X equals to the number of other quintuplets you have. So with number of quintuplets, sorry, I said other. So with a full field, Futara counted, she'll only get plus 4k, but that puts her up to 11, which is really nice. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, if there's a climax, you can choose a quints in waiting room, put it into your stock. So extra stock to make certain that you have just enough. Also, I needed more green in the deck. So because got to make certain to be able to play the green at level 3. So I wanted to put in a little bit extra. That's also why every single one of the girls has like a free 2k backup, which is what this Yotsuba is. I know I skipped a card, but here. This is a free 2k backup. You put 3 copies of it in here. That's the green one. So that you can make certain to have something in your level or clock when you try to play the combo. So 3 of the Yotsuba 2k backup, and then going back to the other backup is the belligerent Itsuki Nakano is a 2500. It is an anti-change. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 2 and sack a character, choose one of your opponent's characters with a higher level than their level, and put it into their waiting room. So always good. 2 copies of this Nino. It is a 1/1/5/5. If you have 2 or more other quints, this gets 2k power, and then it has character encore. Once again, be mindful of the Futara not having the quints trait, but that's okay. As long as you have one other character in back row, like one of the Brainstormers or something, and then one other level 1 in the front row, she has that. She'll have that buff and be like a 1/1/7/5. All right, so to the climax combo at level 1, Budding Trust Itsuki Nakano. It's a 1/0/4/5. Up to 1 time per turn, when you use an act, she gets an extra 1500 power, making her a 1/0/6k. She does not have to reverse for her combo, which is amazing. When this attacks, if the salvage climax visiting her mother's grave is in play, and the total level of cards in your level is 2 or higher. Very easy to reach, but that's why you kind of want to just like go ahead and toss one of the red level 3s into your level as soon as you can, and then you're just set. You know you're not going to have an issue. You can discard 1 card. If you do, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 3 of a particular event or quintuplet characters. Show them to your opponent. Add your hand. So if you just straight up reveal 3 of the girls, you just add 3 cards to hand. It's so good. You don't have to reverse. You just have to meet the experience thing and discard 1 card for the combo. That is honestly really, really good. But she's also really good defensively because when you use an act, she gets her buff. Backups are acts. So this 2k becomes a 3500 backup on her, bringing her up to an 8k defensively. And that doesn't count for, like, say if you use the Yotsuba here, that's a 3k backup. With Memory Kick, she's a 9k level 1, which is just crazy. But being able to do that, obviously the Futaro, the tap ability is also an act, so you're giving you're giving buffs on your turn. It's proccing this effect. She's gonna be big. She's gonna be able to get over stuff, which is really, really good. And I very much liked using this combo over the Ichika, even though I prefer Ichika as one of the quintuplets. So let's get to the level 0s. Already stated the Futaro, 4 copies of that. 4 copies of this Ichika as an actress. It's a 0/0/15. On play, top check the top card and either put it on your deck or into your waiting room. So if you see like it's one of your irreplaceable bond level 3s, you want to just go ahead and toss into the waiting room, you can do that and then just go ahead and put it under the Futaro as a marker. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock, Search your deck for up to one level 1 or lower character, reveal it to your opponent, add it to hand. Done. So, let you search for your Itskis, get the combo rolling. 2 copies of this Yotsuba. I wanted a little bit more green in the deck, but also because you have the gold bars, if they get stuck in your hand, you can use this effect to pay them out. And so choose one, pay 1, pitch a climax. It's an act ability as well, so procs her. Choose 1 card in your clock, return it to your hand. 1 card, by the way. Somehow, you know how sometimes you hit refresh penalty and a climax just gets stuck there? You can pull that out if you need. Choose 1 card in your clock, return it to hand, put the top card of your clock into your deck. Then choose a character, it gets a 500 power boost until end of turn. Really good. Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this, mill 4. For each climax, search your deck for a Quints. 2 copies of this Secretly Making an Effort Ichika is a 002K. On play, you can choose a card in your hand and put it into your stock. Really useful if you're just like a hair short for the combo at level 3, just to be able to go ahead and toss like a little bit extra in there, because hand size doesn't really matter when you do the combo, as long as you get enough characters on field to be able to sack for the Futaro and be able to pay enough stock. Like, this is really good. Also, it's a climax swapper. When this is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, pitch a climax to add back 1. For some ungodly reason, if you have too many of this, of the gold bar, you can grab the Itsuki, or if you have none of the gold bar, you can sack the Itsuki one to grab the gold bar. So, then, this is a very underrated card, and I love it. Pure Wish Itsuki Nakano is a 0015. You get +1 to the limit of number of cards in your hand. Your hand size limit increases. So just one of these in the back with the Futaro. Because of how many cards you add to hand with the Itsuki level 1 combo, you can keep 8 cards in hand at the end of turn instead of just 7. So sometimes that matters. As an assist during your turn, if your hand has 5 or more cards, all of your characters get an extra 500 power. Brainstorm, rest this. This doesn't go off that much, but it's okay. Rest this, mill 4. For each salvage trigger, you get to add a Quintuplets. This does not come up that much, but I wanted another Brainstormer in the deck. So then, 2 copies of, lastly, I should say, 2 copies of Quintessential Quintuplets Itsuki. It's a 001K. It's a level 0 reverser, and when this is put into your waiting room from the stage, you can pitch a card. If you do, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 level 1 or higher card amongst them, add it to your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. And then to round it out, 4 copies of the gold bar and 4 copies of the I almost said Ichika, the Itsuki one, visiting her mother's grave. I have contemplated swapping out the Brainstormer here just for anyone who's concerned. Yes, you only get it off of the salvage, yes, but I'm more focused on the other 2 effects, to be completely and totally honest. If I ever need to, I can just like summon a Yotsuba in the front row. It doesn't matter. And then just use it and then like play over top of her. So more than anything, it's just kind of there for the other 2 effects. The Brainstorm is just kind of an extra thing. So, but, you know, sometimes you do hit it. It doesn't matter. So, and that is the deck. Exodia Obliterate, or Quintuplets Obliterate. So, yeah, this honestly is one of the most fun decks I've had in a while. I like Exodia, quote-unquote, type decks where it's like, you need a specific field setup, like, say, with the Mono Blue Titans from AOT. It was really, really fun to like build that back in the day. And this is also on that level of just, oh, you want like a specific setup. Sometimes it whiffs, sometimes it wins, it doesn't matter. It's just really fun. Like, if you could pull this off, you get style points more than anything. But hey, people were still topping with it at regionals, you know. Yep, pick your poison, whether you like the Itsuki or the Ichika version. To each their own. The Ichika version was very useful, I will say, whenever you triggered the choice climax. Like, that was honestly really, really good. Because you could either get the extra stock you needed for the combo, or, you know, add back one of the level 2 backups or something, or get, like, I remember doing it a couple times where I would I knew I was about to refresh, I would purposely grab whichever copies of the Irreplaceable Bonds were in my waiting room that I didn't have under Futaro as a marker. And then the next, like, I would grab it back to hand, I would refresh, and then I would use an effect to be able to discard it, and then I would have the target in the waiting room for the Futaro to get as a marker. So every now and then something like that came up. So the choice version is still very, very nice. So, but I just liked this a bit more with the Itsuki, and yeah. That is it. If you want to see gameplay of this, I'll try to like run a couple games at some point against Joe or something, and I'll post up like, "Hey, I dropped the Quints thing just to show people." Actually, I think I have one of those games saved already, so I will do that at some point then. So thank y'all very much for watching. Please subscribe if you want. If not, hey, thanks for stopping by to share the love for the quintuplets because they're freaking awesome. And yeah, we will. That'll be it. Peace out for now.